And I'm back with more Spirit of Justice. Maya has been called to channel the spirit of Tahrust in me. Let's get to that. Sorry, Maya, but this was the only way. You're sure you're up for this? Thanks for relieving me, Nick. Even though I don't know if my channeling ability's on point yet. Alright. Before she started training, her success rate here was only about 30%. I know you can do it, Maya. At least I hope she can. So you're sure you're ready? Yeah, at least I think so. You don't sound so confident. What about all your training? Training's one thing. Actually doing it is another. I see. Ew. If she fails to channel the High Priest, we're as good as dead. Relax, Nick. You can count on me. I'll show you what my training's done for me. This'll be a moment you'll never forget. Okay. I just hope it's unforgettable in a good way. Once we hear Abbot Inmee's story, I'm sure the truth will come to light. I hope so. But he was hiding the fact he was a rebel, so I doubt it would be just cut as dried as all that. They're ready for you. Please return to the Hall of Justice at once. Okay, Maya. I'm counting on you. You got it. Here we go. We have received official approval from the accused to channel the spirit here today. If you will, Miss Faye, please proceed. Yes, Your Majesty. I can't believe this! Only the Queen should channel spirits. Execute them! Put them to death now! Come on, Maya. I'm counting on you. I've been studying here in Khura'in for 2 years now, so that one day I will be the master of Khura'in, a village of spirit mediums back home. But first I shall show you all the fruits of my training in your kingdom. She seems really confident. A neophyte practitioner such as you could not possibly channel a spirit. Okay, Your Benevolence, how about this? If I succeed, will you stop calling me a neophyte? Very well. If you succeed. Oh, I will. Just you watch. Oh, spirit of Tahrust in me. Wow, they just went quick to it. I didn't even voice act it. Shit. What is this place? Oh my! No! This cannot be! Polkunka! He's the High Priest! The accused really can channel spirits! I don't believe it. The accused's spiritual power is the real deal! Go, Maya. I do not understand. This cannot be. Simply cannot be. I must step out now before I forget myself. Abbot Inmee. Will this be the Twilight Realm? And what of this luxurious mane of hair? Is it perhaps a gift from the Holy Mother for decades of faithful service? Abbot Inmee. But if it isn't, it's Majesty. Have you too shuffled off the mortal coil? Please do not count me among the dead. It is only you who passed on. but the spirit medium Maya Fey has brought you back among us today. Why? Acolyte Fey has mastered the secret art of spirit channeling? I suppose that explains these gorgeous locks. When I pass from this world, I too hope to be channeled with a full head of hair. Though for it to be the briefest of moments. I give thanks for this splendid coiffure. Praise be to the Holy Mother. However, this kimono is a bit too snug for my tastes. If you would excuse me. Yeah! There! That's better. Could we get this testimony going now? And I wish he kept his top on. Why, you're that foreign lawyer people speak of as of late. Is this not the Hall of Justice? Why have I been summoned here? Forgive us for calling you back from your eternal rest, but you have been accused of murder. Might we ask you to testify on your own behalf? Ah! I've been accused of murder? That's troubling indeed. Ah! What's with that crazy pose? Is it really cause for such astonishment? Even the lowliest of monks can achieve such body control with proper training. Oh, I wonder if I'll be able to do that someday. Do note, I cannot do that. I've done yoga for 20 years, but my posture and my tight shit muscles do not allow that sort of thing. Will the defense please explain the situation to thy priest? I'd be happy to. Your disciple, Perez Zealot, has been murdered. It happened the day before the purification rite, and the crime occurred in the rebel hideout hidden within the inner sanctum. Acolyte Zealot? He's been killed. Who would do such a thing? Someone who knew of the hideout and had access to the inner sanctum. In other words, you, Abbot Inmee. After all, weren't you secretly a rebel? Oh dear. That's still Maya's body. I hope he doesn't break anything. Wow, the High Priest is amazing! To think he masters such an advanced prayer pose! He's still worthy of our veneration even if he is a rebel! Praise be to the Holy Mother! Oh my, have my rebel allegiance has been exposed? Not even my wife knew of that. Seems to rest in peace is not my fate. Why did you, a devout priest of Cryanism, join the rebellion? Objection. The High Priest has come back to us for but a brief time, defense. Shall we not cut to the chase and ask the most pressing questions? Oh, right. Abbot Inmee, the prosecution believes the one who slew both you and Acolyte Zealot is to be Maya Fey, who had been playing the role of Lady Kira in the Rite. Being that I was dead until just a moment ago, my memory is a bit hazy. Could you please do your best to remember? Objection! The High Priest says his memory is hazy. It's all coming back to me. It is as Prosecutor Sadmadi concluded. I was slain by none other than Maya Fey. High Priest's statement has proven my assertion with regards to his murder correct. No! I wonder how many times I've had to say that. Anyway, but what about Acolyte Zealot? You were the one who killed him, weren't you? I know not about my disciple's murder. Furthermore, I have an alibi of my own. An alibi? Seriously? Seems the testimony the defense had been hoping for is working against him. Now, Abbot Inmee, your testimony, if you please. Yes. Yes, of course. I have an ironclad alibi for the time during which the murder took place. Just past noon on the day before the rite, I was entertaining guests at my home. And I believe my guests can corroborate this. You had guests? Just past noon, that's right, about the time Zealot was murdered. Are you sure about that? Absolutely. Come to think of it, Rafa told me about a spirit's memory. High Priest seems to know exactly what he's talking about. So the question is, what would be the best angle of attack? So I'm supposed to press every statement.
Hold it!
You use the word alibi as if it was second nature. Are you perhaps mocking me? Or is it perhaps the kingdom of Kurine itself you wish to ridicule? Come on, everyone and their grandmother knows what alibi means. We're not a bunch of country bumpkins. We've got plenty of courtroom dramas on TV. Peace! Peace! Peace, I say! Mr. Rite, would you care to clarify your last statement? Don't take it the wrong way. It's just alibis are another technical term for a priest to use so naturally. I assure you, I know the use of the term. In fact, I had even hoped for a chance to do so one day. I suppose that even I, a high priest, am not immune to such trivial worldly attachments. Oh, I see. Still, he seems unusually calm and composed. It's almost as if he prepared himself for something like this.
Hold it!
Guests? And you were entertaining them personally? That I was. We gathered around the table for a most enjoyable conversation. Since his guests could corroborate his alibi. Can't be good for our case. Are you sure there was the same day as the murder? Maybe you're misremembered. Ah! Do not doubt my mnemonic faculties. I may have died, but my memories up to that point are crystal clear. Sorry? Pretty thin skin for a priest. Guess I should have known better than to doubt his memory. I don't need to be reminded this every time. I don't need to be reminded of that every time. There's nothing better than enjoying gingle cuisine with dear friends. That way everyone's breath becomes equally malodorous. Right.
Hold it!
And who exactly were your guests that day? Don't tell me they were rebels, so they can't be called here to testify. It was none other than his ministry along with his family. Couldn't attend the rite due to work, so he stopped by ahead of time. My, how his daughter's grown. Wait a second. Let me set the record straight right now. I am not a rebel. Thank you for that wonderful meal, Abbot. Lady Inmee's cooking simply cannot be beat. And he really likes that hair. So there you have it. When exactly was his magistry at your home? He was there from 2 to 3. Indeed, precisely the time period within which Acolyte Zealot was slain. Yes, we have a rousing chat concerning the game of Kachu them all. Blech. I'll just have to have that added to the testimony. After all, it was I who visited the High Priest's home. Your Majesty, are you sure this testimony is completely accurate? As sure can be. How wonderful it is to finally have my actions be admissible as evident in court. His Majesty was at my home during the exact time period of the murder. Come, let us put this behind us. I could not have possibly committed the crime. How can you be so sure? What if the clock or watch you were using was off and you misread the time? There was a clock right near the table. It had the exact time as my watch. Now do you understand, lawyer? As you can see, my alibi is airtight. Or do you still think I could have killed Acolyte Zealot? His Majesty's a witness? Are you satisfied now? There is not a single discrepancy in Abbot Inmee's alibi. If I give up now, it's all over. Now hold on a second. Is there anything wrong with the High Priest's testimony? There is a discrepancy in the High Priest's testimony. There is? Then perhaps you could explain what it might be. This is what was wrong. He knew the time of the crime. After Abbot Inmee was channeled, no one ever stated what time Acolyte Zealot was murdered. Now that you mention it. Despite that, you claim you have an alibi for 2 to 3. That means you knew that Acolyte Zealot was dead. When you were still alive! I think I saw something. I think I saw something just now. No, I must be imagining things. Tell me, how did you know what time the crime had been committed? About that. Open your heart, let the Holy Mother in. We've been blessed by the High Priest's sacred words of prayer. All who serve her holiness must strive to banish worldly desires from the soul. Open your heart, let the Holy Mother in. Purge your mind of greed. I feel as my very soul has been cleansed. You can't fool me. Prayer might banish worldly desires, but you can't make a contradiction disappear. Whew. How can you be so sure? What's that supposed to mean? This lawyer seems to think little of the power of the cruelest prayer. Huh? Abbot Inmee was at his home during the crime, but knew of what happened at the hideout. I believe this can be explained as thus. He must have had a way to monitor the hideout from his home. What? You never cease to amaze, prosecutor. And as he surmised, there was a listening device installed in the hideout. It enabled me to instantly learn of anything unusual, even if I was not there. Remember, the rebels have been using this as a top-secret hideout. It would be perfectly natural for them to install such an apparatus. Come to think of it, when I was searching the rebel hideout, it was a listening device. Starts recording whenever it detects movement. And I heard just such a recording that His Majesty and his family left. If you look in the desk at my study, you will find the tape in question. Alright then, bailiff! Gun! Go retrieve the tape in question at the High Priest's home. At once, Your Majesty. The power of Cruelest prayer. Even a putrid brain such as yours should understand it now. It's like the contradiction really did vanish. We shall ascertain the content of that recording once we have the tape. In the meantime, I would ask Abbot Inmee to continue his testimony. Very well. I was entertaining His Majesty and his family when the crime occurred. When I listened to the tape later, I heard a man and woman quarreling. Sounded like an altercation between Acolyte Zealot and Acolyte Faye. After that, there was a loud noise followed by haunting silence. I have to find some way to attack his alibi. If only Maya were here. She's a way of putting me at ease. But seeing her like this is only creeping me out. Though the High Priest was a rebel, he was still a Koreanist. Holy man, take care of your questioning lest you invoke the ire of our people. How dare he suspect the High Priest? May the Holy Mother strike him blind! As if this wasn't hard enough already. Nice try, but I'll stop at nothing to find the truth.
Hold it!
You were entertaining His Majesty and his family during the crime? Indeed. My wife, Believe, was treating him to her wonderful home cooking. Your wife was there that day? Why, yes. She was in the kitchen cooking up a storm the entire time. Come to think of it, I don't think I saw her at all that day. She takes her culinary duties most seriously, you see. That's why she was in the kitchen cooking without pause the entire day. So the judge never saw Miss Inmee? Should I have him add that to her testimony? Please add that statement to your testimony. As you wish. Alright, after that was haunting silence.
Hold it!
A loud noise. I'd say that's worth looking into. It was a terrible crashing sound. Poor Acolyte Zealot. It must have felt so heavy. It must have been the sound of that stone slab falling over. Please add that statement to your testimony. As you wish. And now I gotta press every other statement.
Hold it!
What was your wife making that day? The menu that day featured hot and supes and melton mut. They're both traditional Koreanese dishes. Can't even begin to imagine what those are. Oh yes! The exquisite zest of something word and the supreme texture of some other word. Lady Zinmi's cooking was utterly unforgivable. Unforgettable. Unforgivable. What am I? Yeah! Thank you. It brings me great joy to know you enjoy your meal. And once His High Majesty and his family had left...
Hold it!
You heard everything from a recording? Indeed. Each night I would secretly check what the listening device had recorded. I would have been in serious trouble if my lovely wife had discovered my secret. Can you really tell what happened by the audio alone? Long years of ascetic training have sharpened my hearing. It is but a simple matter for me to ascertain a situation by the sounds I hear. Practicing Koreanism improves your hearing? Hearing is but one of the senses it can improve. One can focus and attain inner peace, all 5 senses are sharpened. Why, the warbot over at the bazaar has just cried. Did you not hear it? Give me a break.
Hold it!
Hold on. Are you sure about those voices? Was it really Acolyte Zealot and Miss Faye? I'd say it was the most reasonable conclusion under the circumstances. Or perhaps Acolyte Faye has an alibi you can prove. I'm afraid not. Then I suggest you make like a mollusk and clam up. Now I will continue my testimony, if I may.
Hold it!
You believe that terrible crash is connected to Acolyte Zealot's death? Yes, the sound, no doubt, was poor Zealot's death knell. Such a tragedy, for he was a fine disciple. I would ask all here today to give a prayer for his departed soul. Jushere Matmi Yoma! I'm only doing that once. I had high hopes for the young man's future. Why do I feel like such a jerk for trying to do my job right now? Mr. Rite, do you still feel the need to question the High Priest? His alibi is as tight as tight can be. This isn't going well. Better ask him about something else. I'm curious, Abbot. Did you stop by the rebel hideout after his Majesty left? Yes, I thought it would be wise to assess the situation. But as I said before, there was nothing to see. The hideout appeared as it always had. And the victim's body was nowhere to be found. Acolyte Faye must have already disposed of it and anything else incriminating. So when you saw the rebel hideout, it looked like it does in this photo? I suppose I would say that that's how it appeared that day. So the stone slab had been put back in place. Mr. Rite, is it not time to concede defeat? I just need a little more time, if you insist.
Objection!
Abbot Inmee, you said, and I quote, "Poor Zealot must have felt so heavy." Why do you think he felt something heavy? You said the hideout looked like it did in the photo. If so, there was nothing to lead you to believe that you'd experienced a heavy feeling. Uh-oh. The fact is, of course, a stone slab did fall over onto Acolyte Zealot, impaling him on the Warbat statue just behind him. But that was only revealed through her benevolence's divination seance earlier. Would the defense please get to the point? My point is, simply hearing a crashing sound shouldn't have automatically led him to conclude the victim was crushed to death. I still don't see your point. I'm saying that the High Priest knew. He knew how the victim was actually killed. Why? That is information only the real killer could have known. I definitely saw it that time. I've got the High Priest's spirit shaking in his boots. Or should I say sandals? Need I remind you, Abbot Inmee was with his majesty at the time of the crime. Such an alibi precludes him from being the killer. That's true, so he can't be the killer. However, he knew how Zealot was killed, something only the killer would know. Can this discrepancy be resolved somehow? Well, Mr. Rite, we're waiting for an answer. I was just getting to that. Time to think of something quick. The High Priest knew something only the killer could have known because he heard it from the real culprit. He must have heard how the victim died from the real killer. The real killer. Of course. Makes perfect sense. I don't want to believe it, but this is the only possible explanation. So tell us, who is the real killer? It's gotta be someone close to the High Priest. Someone without an alibi. The person most likely to be Zealot's killer.
Take that!
Your Majesty, while you were visiting the High Priest's home, you didn't see Miss Inmee at all, did you? No, I never saw her, but what does it have to do with anything? Did the High Priest ever leave your sight? No, we were talking the entire time, and the food was brought right to the room's entryway. So the High Priest has an ironclad alibi. But his wife does not! What the devil are you insinuating? I'm insinuating that Miss Inmee might have killed Acolyte Zealot. Uh-oh.
Objection!
You have a lot of nerve, making such a baseless accusation. She had no motive to kill Acolyte Zealot. He was like family to her. No, we can't entirely discount the idea. Especially if you consider that Miss Inmee could have been the one posing as Lady
Objection!
Even a fool must temper his foolishness at times. Or do you truly believe Lady Kira would kill Acolyte Zealot, though he not be?
Objection!
As we all know, the High Priest was secretly a rebel. It would follow that his favorite disciple could have been one as well. Are you suggesting Miss Inmee killed her husband as well? As sad as it is to think she'd kill her own husband to rid the kingdom of rebels, I don't think we could rule it out. You claim my wife is the rebel-hunting Lady Kira, and that she slew both Zealot and myself? My lovely wife, that is utterly impossible! I've never seen the High Priest so angry! It is as Abbot Inmee stated, and the accused has already been found guilty of his murder. It is far too late to overturn it. That's right, Mr. Rite. We'll apologize to the good priest before he gets angry again. Quickly now! I'm not going to apologize. The true identity of Lady Kira is a major piece to this trial's puzzle. Admit it, Abbot Inmee. Your wife, Lady Inmee, killed you. Yet even now you continue to lie in an effort to protect her. Oh, absurd. It appears the lawyer has forgotten. My lovely wife could not have possibly battled the rebels in the guise of Lady Kira, for we were blessed by her holiness and she's with child. Praise be to the Holy Mother. I completely forgot about that. That abominable Lady Kira figure who slew me and Acolyte Zealot was the accused. This is bad, but I can't give up now. Don't forget, my client doesn't have the strength to fight rebels either. How could a weak young woman like her possibly... You foolish oaf of a lawyer. If only you were as blessed as Lady Inmee. What? Surely the accused possesses the strength. Or should I say the power? The power to battle those black-hearted rebels. What are you talking about? My good prosecutor, I see you've come to the same conclusion as I. Such keen insight. Then you figured it out as well, Abbot. May I ask you to explain it to this putrid-brained lawyer? Certainly, for I cannot allow him to frame my lovely wife for murder. Foreign devil! Your Majesty, allow me to testify on Maya Fey as the murderous Lady Kira. If it would assuage your anger, then by all means, please testify. Acolyte Fey challenged Lady Kira's spirit. She is a spirit medium who knows Lady Kira's true name, so she could have done it. So it was the real Lady Kira who returned to root the rebels out among us. She attacked and killed me with a strength far beyond any mortal woman. But do you understand now? Murder by spirit channeling explains everything. This is the only way the accused could have defeated one rebel after another. Indeed, I am a living, or should I say dead, proof of her terrible powers. By his ability to channel spirits, it's come back to haunt her. No, this is not time to let it go and move on in defense. Never! I'll never give up! You know what? Think. How can I prove Maya couldn't have channeled Lady Kira? Present Tome of Secrets.
Objection!
The Tome of Secrets is only given to the priestess who performs the purification rite. Is this your proof that my client could have channeled Lady Kira? Indeed. For it contains the true name of Lady Kira, a secret only revealed within. Abbot Inmee. I'm afraid you're mistaken. This couldn't have been used to channel Lady Kira. What nonsense! Mr. Rite, would you care to explain? This is why my client couldn't have channeled Lady Kira.
Take that!
Lady Kira's face is hidden behind a mask in the Tome of Secrets. You need both a name and a face to channel the spirit. It can't be! Without a face, it would have been impossible for my client to channel Lady Kira. Oh my. Therefore, the claim that she became Lady Kira by means of spirit channeling is patently false. Ugh. And with Lady Kira out of the equation, my client had no motive to commit murder. But then, who is the rebel-hunting Lady Kira we've been reading about in the paper? Who is the other suspect, if indeed there is one at all? Let us hear the defense's brilliant deduction. The true identity of Lady Kira key to solving both murders. I thought Mrs. Inmee was suspicious, but her pregnancy takes her out of the running. Mr. Airball is a rebel, so that doesn't make sense, which leaves us... Mr. Rite, you have that look again. The one where you know you have to say something, but can't figure out what. This is my chance to really turn up the heat. I'll just have to stir the pot till something floats up to the top. Your Majesty, I know who's been posing as the rebel-hunting Lady Kira. You do? Are you so sure about that? Completely. I sense I may regret this, but please go on and explain. Thank you. This is who's been posing as the rebel-hunting Lady Kira.
Take that!
The true identity of the rebel-hunting Lady Kira is Prey Zealot. What's this? The High Priest murdered its disciple was Lady Kira, you say? Peace! I say peace! The defense will continue. Yes, Your Majesty. I whittled down the list of suspects until there was only one left.
Objection!
But a process of elimination is not the same as solid evidence. I assume you have evidence to back up your claim. Of course. I'll have some in a moment, that is. At least I hope so. Maya wasn't Lady Kira, and neither was Miss Inmee or any of the other possibilities. And leaves Zealot, and I have the evidence to prove it. This is what proves Acolyte Zealot was Lady Kira. The warning letter. How absurd. What could that possibly prove? Prosecutor Sadmati, you stated that this warning letter proved that my client was Lady Kira. And the reason you gave was that the High Priest's house was locked tight. But there was another member of the family who lived there. Therefore, Acolyte Zealot could have delivered the warning anytime he wanted. What is he talking about? It's just not possible. Uh-oh. Oh, he's fiddling. Oh, he's fidgeting. Oh, you're saying Lady Kira was not the culprit, but rather the victim? That's exactly what I'm saying. But that would overturn the entire premise of this case. The trial was proceeded under the assumption Lady Kira was behind the serial killings. But if Lady Kira is one of the victims, who was the killer and what was their motive? The only suspect left is Mrs. Inmee. There's only one possible motive. What if Mrs. Inmee is a rebel? What? Fiend! You still cast suspicion upon my lovely wife? Blasphemer! You have no evidence of this! Repent for your mistrust in your soul!
Objection!
Well, you have no evidence either. After all, the dagger with my client's prints on it wasn't what killed Acolyte Zealot. And the Blue Punisher theme that he heard could have been from an alarm clock. That means all of the evidence linking her to the crime has been called into question. Was Lady Inmee a rebel? And did she pose as Lady Kira to kill Acolyte Zealot? Or was Acolyte Zealot a rebel and was the accused Lady Kira who killed him? I would say either scenario is just as likely. So what do we do now? The alarm clock, you say? Do you mean the one in the rebel hideout? Yes, but what of it? That's it. What's gotten into him? If it's in me, what's just what is so comical? Forgive my outburst. That simply tickled my funny bone. What did? The theme song came from the Blue Punisher clock, you say? An alarm could not possibly have gone off. What makes you say that? That clock was working just fine last time I checked. Try using your head for a change. Would not the existence of a secret hideout be given away if an alarm kept going off? Wait, you don't mean... Indeed. We leave the alarm switched off at all times. No! Oh, crap. In that case, I'm sad to say the defense's claim does not hold water. Would you care to respond, Mr. Rite? This can't be happening. Not now. This should put an end to the lawyer's futile struggles. The theme song the victim heard was from the accused's strap, just as we suspected. Therefore, the accused is the rebel-hunting Lady Kira and the victim's killer. Then in an opening, something I can raise an objection to. The Plumed Punisher theme song Acolyte Zealot heard in his final moments. I too heard it by the way of the listening device. But did you really? If you'd heard it, why didn't you testify about that before? Is it not obvious? I did not know such a tune could become a key matter of dispute. The matter of the theme song came up before Abbot Inmee was channeled. Oh, right. Then, what if he's lying about the clock's alarm being switched off? Miserable wretch! That would be a pointless lie, one easily disproven. If you check the clock, you'll see that the alarm is in fact switched off. Come to think of it. We set the switch back in the off position before we left. I remember hearing it clearly. Those distinctive taiko are etched in my... Huh? Wait a minute. Wait, huh? Distinctive taiko... Wait a minute. This trial's gone on far too long. Shall we move ahead to the verdict now? By all means, let us return Abbot Inmee's spirit to the Twilight Realm. Before I go, let me say a word to my darling.
Objection!
Nope. Nope. I knew something was off. Now, hold on just a minute. Your Magistrate. Yes? The High Priest's statement is inconsistent with a certain piece of evidence. It is? Still you writhe in defiance of your fate? The very sight reminds me of a tortured soul writhing in flames. You won't be saying that once I show you the evidence. All I gotta do is pick the right one.
Take that!
This is what's inconsistent with her statement. My client's Plumed Punisher strap. What does that have to do with anything? It plays the Plumed Punisher theme song. And here it is. Yeah, there's no taiko drums in there. Okay. Alright. Do you see what I mean? Music the victim heard in his final moments might not have been the Plumed Punisher theme song. I'm afraid I'm not following you. What was it if not the Plumed Punisher theme? Steel Samurai theme! There are no taiko drums in the intro. So what Acolyte Zealot actually heard in his final moments was the theme to the Steel Samurai. Peace! Mr. Rite, what is this Steel Samurai of which you speak? It's an action hero show from America. Totally not Japanifornia. Plumed Punisher themes are a total ripoff. If you didn't know about the Steel Samurai, you could easily mistake the two. But the fact that Acolyte Zealot heard music from an American action hero show is irrefutable evidence that the accused was in the secret hideout. Actually, no. You have it backwards. Backwards? That's right. Miss Faye met an avid Plumed Punisher fan here in Kurai. And as a token of friendship, she traded a certain Steel Samurai item for the Plumed Punisher strap. And this avid Plumed Punisher fan was the one who killed Acolyte Zealot? Yes. And that avid fan is none other than the High Priest's wife, Abbot Inmee.
Objection!
Do you have evidence to back up this claim, Mr. Rite? For as forgiving as the Holy Mother is, I doubt she would tolerate yet another dose of your baseless slander. I suggest you prepare yourself to face His Holiness's wrath. Oh, I'm prepared to turn this entire case upside down. This is my last chance. Better take a deep breath and review the evidence. Oh, please present your evidence if you would. Well, I'm gonna save it just so I don't fuck up. Because they pulled the all-fiber on me. Yeesh. The evidence that proves Miss Inmee killed Acolyte Zealot is this.
Take that!
It's right here in this family photo. Proof that Mrs. Inmee and Miss Faye traded items featuring their favorite characters.
Objection!
A family photo? And what exactly should we be looking at here? The proof they exchanged items with their favorite characters is right here.
Take that!
Look at Mrs. Inmee's left wrist. You can see the Steel Samurai trademark top knot. Which clearly makes this a Steel Samurai watch. Why, I never knew your wife had such hobbies, Abbot Inmee. His family photo was taken right before he was murdered. By that point, my client had the Punisher strap, and Miss Inmee had the Samurai watch. So what the victim heard in the final moments was none other than the sound of the watch she was wearing. I wish to amend my testimony. What I thought were taiko drums or something else. My wife never had such a watch. It's the truth, I tell you. You must believe me, your majesty. My name and my wife's name are totally real. Ah, damn it. Be not deceived by this defense's lawyerly chicanery. Now what? It's been pretty quiet up to this point. What does he have up his sleeve? There's a big gaping hole in his flimsy claim. Gaping hole? I don't think so. Oh no, I'm afraid there is. Alright. Just like the big gaping holes in your putrid brain. I don't have holes in my brain. I check it every morning. I'm not a zombie after all. Says the dead lawyer walking. He who is of narrow vision. Narrow vision focuses on what's before him, never seeing the bigger picture. Or, as they say in your country, you cannot see the forest for the trees. For it is as you said, that Lady Inmee, the rebel, slew Acolyte Zealot, the rebel hunting Lady Kira. And the rebel hunter would have been dead before the High Priest was slain. That means the High Priest could not have been slain by the rebel hunting Lady Kira. How could I have missed that? So tell me, who are you going to say killed the High Priest now? Ugh. Do you finally understand? The sheer size of the holes in that riddled, putrid brain? I'm in hot water now. I don't have any other suspects in the High Priest's murder. You mindless zombie. You should have begun your journey into the Twilight Realm long ago. Now let it go and move on. I will never give up. Just need to think things through and figure it out. We've got that whole brain highway thing going. Let's go. Alright. If Acolyte Zealot had been Lady Kira, he couldn't have killed the High Priest. So the question is, who did? Maybe I can get to the bottom of this by reviewing the events in the order. What evidence could tell me the crime scene before the murder? Oh right, Maya said the spring had been stained red before it began. The spring was already red before the High Priest's murder because of Zealot's blood. That's right. The Zealot had been killed in the rebel hideout the day before the Rite, and his blood had flowed into the spring. Wait a second, the High Priest knew that Zealot had been killed in the hideout. So why didn't he report it to the authorities? If Maya had been the killer, he could have easily had her arrested on the spot. Why didn't the High Priest inform the authorities? If he'd reported Zealot's murder, the authorities would find out about the hideout. That's what he was worried about. But by going through with the Rite, the High Priest risked having Maya see the spring running red with blood. Why did he have to go through the Rite? He had to set up the scene during it. He wanted to set up the crime scene to conceal the hideout. But how was he planning on concealing it? He concealed the source of the blood with his own. That's how he kept the rebel hideout a secret. It's all starting to fall into place. I know who killed the High Priest. I can't believe it. The High Priest took his own life to keep the rebel hideout a secret. The High Priest wasn't murdered by anyone. He took his own life to keep the rebel hideout a secret. What? What? What's this? The High Priest committed suicide. I've never heard of anything more absurd. The lawyer has placed a stain on the good priest's death with his putrid brain. Its putrid gaping holes are as large as the hole in his logic. What hole? You still fail to understand. You truly cannot see the forest from the tree. The fortress from the trees? Yeah. You claim the High Priest took his own life. But have you considered who brought the dagger to the Plaza of Devotion? Ugh. After the High Priest was killed, the dagger was thrust into Acolyte Zealot's dead body. Only the accused Maya Fey could have done that. It's as Prosecutor Sadmadi says. Your claim is rather porous in its logic, and your evidence is too weak. You cannot prove the High Priest took his own life to conceal the rebel hideout. You're right. The dagger was impaled in the Zealot's body, but his body had been placed in the plaza the previous day. Well, Mr. Rite, would you care to respond? Zealot's body was already in the plaza the day before the Rite. What if the dagger was already in him at the time? The dagger was never at the inner sanctum. Of course, that's it! What is it? There was no need to move the dagger. It had already been stabbed in Acolyte Zealot's body the day before the Rite. What? So that means... What does that mean? It means the dagger wasn't the weapon that took the High Priest's life. But no weapon was found at the inner sanctum. If you will not listen to reason, then I insist you prove your assertion. Did I say insertion? I meant assertion. Show us what you believe the true murder weapon to be. The real murder weapon? I know there had to be a weapon there. Maybe if I look back at the trial thus far, I could spot the clue. Well, would the defense care to tell us the real murder weapon? This is what really killed the High Priest.
Take that!
What really killed him has been at the inner sanctum all this time, and its lethality has already been demonstrated by the late Acolyte Zealot. That's right, it was the Warbot statue! Fuck! Fuck! You believe the statue claimed 2 victims' lives? Would you care to chime in, Abbot? No, he lies, pay him no heed! It's... Lady Inmee. Darling, don't you think this has gone on too long? Believe, no! Your Majesty, my wife knows nothing! Please, Abbot, let your wife speak. Lady Inmee, please continue. It's that time again. And what time would that be? 2:30 in the afternoon. The time my husband conducts his daily prayers. And the time Prey was slain. That sound, it's the Steel Samurai alarm. I, too, like to pray at the same time as my dear husband, so I set an alarm to remind me each day. I had no idea it would come to this. No, stop! She knows not what she speaks! Your Majesty, I am the one who slew Acolyte Zealot. Ah! Abbot Inmee! Bailiff, summon a physician at once! The physician is now attending to the High Priest, so there's no need to fear. Let us continue. And what about the half of him called Maya still among the living? Miss Inmee, will you tell us everything you know? The truth is, I'm a rebel just like my husband. The tragedy unfolded before the rite, during the Feast of Blessings. I'd gone to the rebel hideout to prepare for Datz's escape. And that's when Acolyte Zealot suddenly appeared? Yes. Prey was shocked when he saw me there. Acolyte Zealot did not know you were a rebel? I do not believe he did. I believe he was there simply to investigate the hideout. And then he suddenly came face to face with Miss Inmee. So the true identity of the rebel-hunting Lady Kira was Prey Zealot? Yes. He was a member of the secret police, serving directly under the Minister of Justice. Secret police? And this is what he said to me. I can kill rebels with impunity. The Justice Minister has my back. He was using his position within the secret police to deliver us rebels a heavy blow. But murder sanctioned by the Crown is still murder. The trick of Minister Inga's sleeve was Lady Kira. No, this can't be. My father would never. This must be a bolt out of the blue for Rafa. explains why Acolyte Zealot abandoned his real name. Yes. He even went so far as covering up the tattoo that all Koreanist clergy members receive. Lady Kira was a member of the secret police. That explains why no order was given to investigate her attacks. Guess I'm not alone in hearing this for the first time. This cannot be. Is it true? The Justice Minister is sanctioning state-sponsored murder? Peace! No, Lady Inmee, please continue. Ray suddenly lunged at me. That's when I pushed the stone slab towards him with all my might. But I never meant for what happened next to occur. Allow me to take it from here. Abbot Inmee, are you sure you're alright now? I'm sorry you had to see that. But you need not worry about me, I am already dead. Please, we need to know what was so important that you would take your own life. After I learned my wife had accidentally slain Zealot, I chilled his body with snow to make it seem as if he died more recently than he did. I later moved it to the Plaza of Devotion and inserted the dagger into his wound. The plaza was empty at the time, and it was before prayer time had started. Finally, I placed his body in the prayer pose, knowing that no one would notice a thing until the rite had concluded. It was perfectly plausible no one would disturb him if he seemed to be praying. We do treasure our prayer here, after all. So you admit you tried to pin the crime on Maya Fey? Yes. It was all my doing. I never told my wife of my plan. For surely she would have tried to stop me. How did you get Miss Fey's fingerprints on the dagger? I had her hold it when we were rehearsing the rite the day before. And right before the rite, I drugged her with a sleeping agent. I put Lady Kira's robes over the Warbot statue. That means Maya was probably already groggy by the time the rite started. Finally, I ended my own life, to ensure the crime would appear to have been Acolyte Fey's own doing. But when your body was discovered, Lady Kira's robes were on the ground. How did they end up there if they were on the statue? After I impaled myself on one of the statue's feathers, I used the last ounce of my strength to hurl my body backwards. As I did, I grabbed onto the robes, taking them with me, as I fell back onto the ground. How terrible. What possessed you to do such a thing? You needn't have committed suicide simply to frame the accused. Prosecutor, as one well versed in our kingdom's legal system, I would expect you of all people to understand. Understand what? This kingdom's legal system, Miss Inmee's crime, your suicide. It can't be. That would be sadder than sad. I believe the defense knows what the High Priest speaks. Yes, I finally understand. This explains why the High Priest took his life.
Take that!
The Defense Culpability Act. Circumstantial evidence supports Mrs. Inmee's killing of Acolyte Zealot in self-defense. However, it would be next to impossible to prove it without a lawyer. That's why the High Priest wanted to pin the crime on Maya Fey. I fail to see what that has to do with his suicide. In Qur'an, the divination seance is the most important piece of trial evidence. The High Priest wanted to frame Miss Fey as a serial killer. It was a clever plan in which he made sure to see Lady Kira in his final moments. The lawyer speaks true. That's why I placed Lady Kira's robes upon the Warbot statue. I made it seem that like Acolyte Fey was the rebel-hunting Lady Kira. But are you saying you used my divination seance to produce false evidence? Forgive me, your benevolence, but it was the only way to help my lovely wife. if you had approached me first, I could have proved the murder was self-defense. Perhaps. But I had little faith in lawyers, despite him being a rebel. How utterly foolish to cast one's life away for such a reason. There must have been other ways to cover up the crime. Yet, had I done so, my life would have rushed to my defense. And when the case went to trial, she'd suffer the same fate as I, under the Defense Culpability Act. I could not have lived with myself had she been convicted because of that fiendish man. This cannot be. All I have done under the laws of our kingdom, it has been... Oh, Rafa, she's really taken this hard. And I can't say I'm surprised. Mr. Phoenix, Rite. It is time to show you the might of your legal prowess. You mustn't allow another innocent soul to be charged under that despicable law. Of course, I'll do whatever I can. What I have done to you and Acolyte Faye is unforgivable. I can only offer my most humble of apologies. Your Majesty. Yes? I ask that you please look after my wife. You have my word. Your benevolence, it is time I return to the Twilight Realm. The Magatama of parting, if you please. Very well. Your benevolence. Please, allow me the honor. Yes, it would be more fitting for you to send him on his way. Miss Inmee. Darling. I'm so glad I was able to see you one last time. Thank you for everything. I'm sorry to leave you like this, my love. But now you can watch over me from the world beyond. Yes. Always and forever. And with every breath I take, I'll be thinking of you. Farewell, my darling Tahrust. The High Priest has returned to the Twilight Realm. Maya! I feel great. I guess that means he didn't leave any regrets behind. Oh! But what about the trial, Nick? It's over. It was a sad reality born of love, and a great tragedy born of the Defense Culpability Act. Well, I see no reason to continue this trial. Does the prosecution have anything to say? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I owe a debt to you, one that I will pay back in court someday. To deliver today's verdict and overturn that of yesterday's trial, with respect to all current and previous charges against them, I hereby declare the accused Maya Fey and her defense Phoenix Wright not guilty. So I was thinking, Nick, the legal system here is really stacked against the defense. It's totally unfair. Yeah, it even forced the High Priest to make the ultimate sacrifice to protect his wife. It's just so sad. Protect the status quo or join the revolution. The real Lady Kira here, I wonder which side she would take. Your benevolence? Huh? What? I was just wondering, are you alright? Quiet, you! How could I possibly be alright? She's not doing well at all. Who do you think you are? Suddenly appearing before me, trampling my insides underfoot, and plunging the Hall of Justice into utter chaos. You even desecrated my mother and father's teachings, you soulless infidel! Yeesh, that was a bit more extreme than usual. What am I to do? I had always believed that communing with a victim's mitama would lead me to the absolute truth. But each time you overturned my insights, it was revealed that they served to support false charges rather than the truth. I am left now with the heavy truth in my heart. I'm sorry. Perhaps I'm not worthy of hearing the voices of the mitama. That's where you're wrong, your benevolence. What? Maya? How dare you! Your role is to bring forth the voices of the mitama into our world. If you didn't do it, who will? You know nothing, Maya Fey! It was spirit channeling, not a divination seance that brought the truth to light. How dare an outsider like you employ the Queen's secret art? But what can I do? My spiritual power doesn't even approach yours. Is it not a cruel joke? The royal priest is bested by a lowly outsider. Don't be so hard on yourself. Why not? It's worth at least a laugh or two. You shouldn't talk like that! Listen, your benevolence. You were just fulfilling your duty, weren't you? And you're the only one capable of performing the seance, right? The station of Royal Priestess is not something to abandon lightly. Station of Royal Priestess? The people of your kingdom believe in you. But if you really mean all that you just said, then what are we supposed to believe in? You know not what I speak! Actually, I kinda do. After all, I'm only here training so I can become master of my village back home. A village master, you say? I did not know. Seems I owe you an apology. For even today I called you a neophyte. It's alright. Thank you for finally acknowledging me. Future queen and future village master, I guess that shouldn't be a surprise. Considering what they have is a common ancestor. Maya's right. Barbed head, your insights were a crucial piece of evidence in this trial. It doesn't matter if they weren't always 100% accurate. You should be proud of what you did. You played an important role in assuring that justice was served. And besides, your insights aren't the problem here. It's your kingdom's legal system. Without lawyers, your insights have come to be accepted as the sole truth. And the Defense Culpability Act, which gave rise to that, is the root of it all. But that's the dangerous thinking of a rebel! Your benevolence. As Crown Princess, you're destined to rule this kingdom one day. That means there will be many things that you alone must determine. Things like how to keep your people happy, and what is true and what is false. And most importantly, what role you must play therein. I wonder if I'm even up to the task. Knowing you, your benevolence, you're more than capable. I never heard Maya talk like this before. She's really come a long way. Ugh! What was that? It came from the hallway! Smoke! We better check it out, hurry! Miss Inmee? Mr. Rite, Acolyte Faye, I'm so sorry for what transpired. You were almost sentenced to death because of me. Huh? I will make amends by picking up where my husband left off. I will see this revolution through, so nothing like this can ever happen again. For that is the depth of my love to my dearly departed husband. Lady Inmee, we gotta hurry! Is that Mr. Airball? I must tell the people. They must learn the peace that we enjoy is a false one. One built upon the backs of innocents, charged with false crimes under that odious DC Act. We have it in our power to forge a society in which the law judges us all fairly. Hey there, PW! Wish we had more time to talk, but... Dirk, everything's ready. It's go time! Dirk? Oh, shit! Wait, was that the rebel leader Dirk? After him! Don't let him get away! The power to forge a society in which law judges all of us fairly. It's the start of a legal revolution. Hey, Nick. I hate to bother you while you're lost in thought, but I just got this great idea. What is it? The Steel Samurai versus the Rebel Dirk. I bet it would make for another awesome TV show. And if we threw the Plume Punisher in there, everyone would go nuts for it. I'll never get what she sees in these things. It's good to know that no matter what happens, Maya will always be Maya. Oh boy. Oof, made that one worth it. Oof. A double-length episode to get to the end of the Rite of Turnabout. Next time is Turnabout Storyteller. So, not gonna lie, Athena gets the short shaft in this game, much like Trucy did the last one. Some people like Turnabout Storyteller. I don't think I do. There are some interesting things about it, but it's a filler case, and, well, it's not the worst I've ever played, but I guess I'll get to it next time. The only good thing I will say about it is it brings back Simon Blackwell. So I guess that's a good thing, isn't it? We'll get to him again. So I'm happy to do that, if nothing else. See you next time.